your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, good evening to you. Quiet, calm conditions across central Illinois here tonight. There have actually been some showers trying to work their way in closer to I-70. Most of that will stay south of us as we go throughout tonight. Temperatures not bad, upper 60s, even some mid-60s showing up in Springfield, and you've got a warmer 71 in Effingham. Now, tomorrow morning, it may look like that on your morning commute. A little foggy to start the day. But that fog will quickly burn off through the late morning hours, and it's going to warm up. 87 for a high temperature. We'll also talk about some rain that could be possible for tomorrow when we come back. WCIA3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA3 News.
They would go to a party even if they knew they were COVID positive.
Now the University of Illinois is saying enough, how they're cracking down to keep cases from climbing even higher. Speaker Michael Madigan was under investigation by authorities. Now he's being investigated by the Illinois House of Representatives. It's the first day of school for one district, why one teacher is not taking it for granted.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 10.
What we didn't anticipate is that students would willingly break the law.
Student behavior during the pandemic has forced the University of Illinois to create harsher rules. They're blaming students for being irresponsible and causing a surge in COVID-19 cases. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. The U of I says it's at risk of shutting down in-person classes if immediate changes are not made. For the next 2 weeks, they want students to quarantine unless going out for essential needs. And they're threatening suspension if students don't comply. WCIA3's Jennifer Jensen has more.
This behavior will not be tolerated.
Strict words were spoken by U of I Chancellor Robert Jones in response to the rise in COVID-19 cases in students on campus.
Things are heading in the wrong direction.
University leaders say their SHIELD testing has identified 784 positive cases since the start of class on August 23rd. The university leaders say they predicted that students would be going out to bars and other social gatherings, but what they didn't account for was that students would purposefully disobey the health department's guidelines when it comes to quarantining and isolating if they test positive for COVID-19.
They would go to a party even if they knew they were COVID positive, or that they would host a party while they were COVID positive.
We also have documented evidence of people who are supposed to be in isolation coming out and actually swiping their iCards in places where they're not supposed to be.
Students did something else that the health department also did not anticipate when trying to contact trace for positive cases.
A group of individuals have been avoiding our phone calls repeatedly.
That has prevented CUPHD from being able to tell people they need to quarantine.
Some students have left their quarantine or their isolation place.
They say in the past few days, the number of positive cases has increased and is on track to double the number of cases every week. If that trend continues, the university would have 75 to 100 new cases each day and would expect to have as many as 8,000 positive cases during the whole semester.
But the problem is the math is brutal, that a small number of students can cause an extraordinary level of damage if they choose to willfully break the law. And yes, they should be held accountable, and the students are the ones who are doing the right thing are the biggest advocates for them being held accountable.
So for the next 2 weeks, starting Wednesday, the university is increasing staffing to monitor large gatherings, parties, and other unacceptable behavior in housing and campus town areas. U of I expects students to restrict all in-person group activities until September 16th. Party hosts and students who refuse to obey the rules will be suspended. The university hopes this ultimatum will convince students to take the health safety guidelines seriously.
If we do not make the progress that we expect will be made over the next 2 weeks, we are going to be forced to send everyone home.
Reporting, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA3, your local news leader.
University leaders say students should only leave their homes for essential needs like going to class, getting food, going to work, or getting tested. There is a confidential web form for U of I staff and students to report violations. Today, the university also launched SHIELD Team 30 to more quickly identify and contact undergrad students who have tested positive. Blue Ridge schools are reminding students and staff to be safe over Labor Day weekend. They have not had any positive cases and want to keep it that way. If people travel out of state or to hot spots, they should quarantine for 5 days, then get tested. They need a negative test before they can return to school. The OBGYN office at the downtown Champaign Christie Clinic temporarily closed. An employee tested positive for COVID-19. They did not work with patients. The office was closed yesterday and today for cleaning. Officials say members of the public should not have to be tested. As for the state's latest COVID-19 numbers, there were more than 2,100 new cases for a total of more than 238,000. 27 more people have died. The death toll is almost 8,100. Hundreds of kids filled the halls of Monticello schools today. Roughly 85% of families chose in-person learning, while the rest chose remote. WCIA3's Jen Lask was in Monticello today and spoke to students and teachers about the unusual first day.
Just like everybody else, we went home for spring break and didn't come back, so we've been looking forward to this day for quite some time.
It's a day of firsts, the first time in more than 160 days that buses rolled up in Monticello.
And it's also a day of lasts. The last first day for Washington school teacher Brad Garrett.
This is my 33rd year, 33 years. I mean, it's a long time. It seems just like yesterday.
One last year, walking up and down the aisle, steps he's not taking for granted after the spring.
It almost reminds me of, when I first started teaching. We sat in rows, we lined up, we kept our hands to ourselves. We were really quiet.
Taping up class photos.
Everybody's up on that wall over there.
And instilling a passion for presidential history in students like Pacey Burton.
I think Mr. Garrett's going to be a great teacher this year, and I just really like presidents just like him, so I think it'll be fun.
And in between old lessons about pivotal moments in history and new kinds of lessons like adjusting to masks.
It's been really hot because just not being able to let people hear you, it's really hard because sometimes it kind of gets hard to breathe.
Garrett hopes above all else to teach his students this.
I told these guys this morning that, I never say I'm going to work. I say I'm going to school, and try to find a job that, you're going to enjoy the rest of your life, and then you never have to go to work.
In Monticello, Jen Lask, WCIA3, your local news leader.
Now, Monticello school leaders planned for a lot, but they did not plan for buffalo. More than a dozen buffalo from Lieb Farms got loose last night near Beals Addition. A school bus driver texted the superintendent today saying buffalo were running wild and blocking the road. 6 are still missing. They called off the search at 8 o'clock tonight. They will continue searching tomorrow morning. If you come across any, do not approach them. You should call the Piatt County Sheriff's Office. Now, for a follow-up to a Target 3 investigation, we told you yesterday about a Head Start program shutting down. It's based in Danville and serves Vermilion, Iroquois, and Ford counties. It was shut down because of financial issues. In the meantime, other daycare centers say they're getting a lot of calls from parents. The owner of Danville Christian Child Care says they are working with families.
We do take child care resource, which is through IDHS. So parents who are low income, if they're working or in school, they will qualify to have their child care, most of their child care paid for.
There's no exact date for when that Head Start program will start again, but they say it will likely happen in the next few days. The Illinois House of Representatives launched a rare special investigative committee. They'll decide whether or not to discipline or possibly even expel Speaker Michael Madigan. That panel will examine what role the Speaker may have had in several of his allies getting paid off in the ComEd bribery case. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is in Springfield with the latest.
Governor Pritzker says if the allegations in federal charging documents are true, then Speaker Madigan should resign. The Speaker says they're not and insists he never broke the law. Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan is public official A at the center of a sprawling federal corruption investigation. Now he'll get to plead his case before a panel of his peers and before prosecutors bring any charges against him.
I'm going to give Speaker Madigan proper due process. He deserves due process just like any other House member.
In a 9-page petition, House Republican leader Jim Durkin called for a panel to investigate the Speaker's role in the ComEd case and demanded he recuse himself from that process. Representative Tom Demmer is one of 3 House Republicans on that panel.
They did this for that. There are quid pro quos that are established by ComEd. So I think there are some very specific things that we have to investigate.
In a statement, Madigan downplayed Durkin's complaint as an election year political stunt to distract voters from President Trump.
I hope that there is not, this is not a political stunt. I hope instead that they're going to be seeking real answers.
House Majority Leader Greg Harris appointed Representative Chris Welch to chair the Special Investigative Committee.
I'm certainly going to take this seriously.
So far, 7 House Democrats have called on Madigan to resign immediately. Several others, including Governor Pritzker, say he should resign if the charges are true.
There are questions that need to be answered by the Speaker, and perhaps the creation of this legislative committee will actually get some of those answers.
Madigan defended himself, saying the law does not prohibit members of the General Assembly from making job recommendations. And he pointed out the bills that benefited ComEd passed with broad support on both sides of the aisle.
I do think the Republicans have to consider that that was a bipartisan effort signed by a Republican governor. And so all of that's going to be taken into consideration during this process. And I don't know how you can ignore it.
House rules will allow Speaker Madigan to use a lawyer to help build his defense. The first hearings are not yet on the calendar, but they will be public. Reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell.
The investigative committee is only the first step to removing a member of the House. A second panel of new members would have to review those findings and then recommend any disciplinary action. One woman had a unique idea on how to raise awareness for child abuse, what she did on her own. Plus, it's good news for farmers, the rule that's being bent to help them out. And many high school fall sports won't have state series this year, what that could mean for one city.